Hey there guys, so the last time in the anime, we saw Yuri's core was imbued with Ain's ice so she could accompany him to the outside world. And Ursula also makes him swallow the Philosopher's Stone so she could create a link between them, with which she could communicate with Ein and teleport right where Ein is. Then, as the preparation were done, Ein exits the World Tree Chamber, defeats the boss of the dungeon, absorbs the dungeon core to level up his spirit god Eye, and finally breathes the fresh air of the surface again. Then, Ein saved a caravan for monsters, and in that caravan, third Princess Claudia was riding, so she quickly falls for Ein. But Yuri tried to make her give up by saying she and In are married. But Claudia was happy being the second wife. And somehow the person beside her named Jasper also proposed to Ein. Turns out he was looking for the spirit core of the world tree. And Ursula thought that man might know where other world trees are, so she tried to make Ein marry that man, but Ein settled the matter being his friend. Then Ein brings out the info from Jasper about the location for the dungeon. He knows where the world tree is situated, so Ein hurried over because Yuri's sister could be here. Yuri is world tree, so other world tree are her siblings. But Ein hits a dead end, and Ursula tells him to touch that wall. It's a gateway to enter in the dungeon. It had its own atmosphere, but Ursula knew it was a high-level illusion, nothing more. But the scale of this illusion was massive, and Yuri's sister saw their arrival. Yuri wanted to meet Pina immediately, but Pina is too mischievous and told them to make their way to the end of the dungeon, because she can't leave from her place, so they have to get over to her. But the only problem was that Pina had set up lots of traps herself, so the way will be dangerous. That's why she was worried for Yuri's boyfriend. Girl was pleased hearing those words, and boyfriend was ready to start the challenge. Pina was so sure about her traps that she took a good seat to enjoy the show. And Ursula warned Ein about the trap, and decided to speed-run Pina's trap game. Ein started to clear this out like a breeze. So Pina surely wasn't happy that her hard work was going down the drain. Yuri still thinks Pina is being mischievous, but this trap could kill someone, so Pina gave a news flash that the moment someone hits the trap, they gets thrown out, so no life-threatening traps here. Then a new S-rank monster showed up, but sleeping gas has no effect because Ein has resistance skill. Then he got attacked out of nowhere. Apparently it's using a stealth skill. But Ein also has ambush nullify skill. And on top of that he got a fortress skill, so basically he's invincible. Yet Pina thinks her stealth monsters won't get detected. But to her surprise, Ursula already knew where they were and Ein took care of it and copied their skill. Poor Pina. But still she had another set of monsters left, and they died as well. There's just no way to stop Ein like this. And on the other hand, Backstabber Zoid was in the same dungeon, and he was frustrated that Ein came back alive and exposed him to others. From then on, Zoid's reputation had gone down, but Jolene was also his crime partner. Yet she played the victim card that Zoid forced her to cast a paralysis spell on. And that's how all blame fell down on Zoid, so he thought of beating a high-rank monsters would boost his reputation again. So he took C-rank monster hunt job and came to this dungeon. And he immediately fell over a spike trap and was thrown out. But Zoid didn't give up and kept trying on, and that's how he's still kicking in. Then he came across a crocodile monster, and he was no match for it. Lena tells him to just give up, but Bro refused even after his hand was crushed, and just then Ein came to his rescue. He couldn't believe Ein killed the thing in one swing, but Ein took pity on him, healing him and making him unconscious, and asked Pina to throw him out. Then finally, Ein came to the boss chamber, and beating it is the only way for Ein to meet Pina. But beating the monster would seal of the world tree, so Ursula told him that if the dungeon core is fine, there won't be a problem. So they entered the place and Ein found out the ground beneath him was the boss. That place was on top of a turtle boss, so Ein tried to attack it, but his fire spell had no effect on it. Then a counterattack comes from the turtle, and Ein gives it back to the turtle, yet there was no damage. But then he saw fireball and water ball hitting different places. So Ein stood right below the thing, and it tried to crush him. But Ein knew it's just an illusion, so he dispelled the illusion to see the real form of boss was this tiny little thing. For once it was Ein who defeated him on his own. But when Ein used Appraisal, Ursula noticed something about the turtle, but just looked so cute and innocent Aang couldn't bring himself to kill it. So he gives emotional torture to Pina, and Pina had to give up with it. The door to her home got opened, and two sisters were reunited after hundreds of years. Then Pina teases Yuri that she has a crush on the guy behind her. Yuri was so simple to read, but she was still happy she got to meet Pina. Then Pina asked to tag along with them too. Yuri agreed and Aang had no problem with it. But then the baby turtle turned into a lady. She's the guardian of Pina, and her name was Kuro. But seeing her, Ursula got nervous. That's the first time Ayan was seeing Ursula being polite. But then Ayan asked Kuro for her permission to take Pina with him. She had no problem. But in return, she also wished to tag along, and hands down her Philosopher's Stone. She had the barrier skill. So Ayan was glad to have her in the team. Then Ayan absorbed Pina's spirit core, which levels up his eye again. And more importantly, Yuri was happy with it, and even Ursula thanked him. So that leaves 6 more sisters. But our episode 4 ends right there, so stay tuned to watch another episode of this anime. And for that, subscribe the channel, and hit the bell icon to receive the latest updates. Till then, take care.